Edwin Howard was born October 21st, 1846 in Boston, Massachusetts. He attended Boston Latin School before embarking on a significant journey. In 1861, he traveled to Monrovia, Liberia, where he enrolled in Liberia College and studied there until 1865. Upon returning to the United States, he continued his medical education at Boston City Hospital and later at Harvard Medical College. In 1869, he became the first African American graduate of Harvard Medical School. Edwin initially practiced medicine in Charleston, South Carolina, but by 1869, he had relocated to Philadelphia. He established himself as a throat specialist in the city and gained prominence due to his zero patient mortality rate during the 1870 smallpox epidemic. Howard served with the 12th Infantry Regiment in Pennsylvania and rose to the ranks of Major and Surgeon General. This man was also elected to the Philadelphia Board of Education in the year 1888, and he held this title for at least 11 years. Howard played a pivotal role in co-founding the Frederick Douglass Memorial Hospital, the first African American hospital in Philadelphia, organizations for white medical professionals, and that is pretty much what led to the founding of Sigma Pi Phi that wanted to mirror the tenets of the Skull and Bone Society at Yale University. This much is evident to people who know the story, and I'm going to elaborate on it to explain even more what it truly means to be a bonesman, to be a black bonesman, because this is what these brothers strive to be. And Edwin C. Howard stood out the most because he was the highest ranking Mason among these men. I plan to emphasize that much throughout this video because he was such an influential brother in the city of Philadelphia. Additionally, he was part of the first staff of physicians and served as a lecturer at the Nurses Training School that was established at this facility. He also assisted in the co-founding of Mercy Hospitals, the city's second African American hospital, which later merged to become the Mercy Douglas Hospital in the year 1948. Edwin Howard was also a member of several medical organizations. This includes the American Medical Association, the Pennsylvania Medical Society, the Philadelphia County Medical Society. He even participated in the Citizens Republican Club, and he was also the president of this institution. It is also well known that Edwin Howard was a multiple level Master Mason. He held the distinction of being the first master of the Alban Lodge number 57, which is now the St. Alban Lodge number 35. The fact that these men were Masons and established the first Black Greek orders, it should be recognized as creating a third rift within Black Freemasonry. These are Black Bonesmen, the Black Skull and Bone Society, the Boule. There's one brother who outlined the history of Sigma Pi Phi, along with Alpha Phi Alpha, was the man named Charles Wesley. This very accomplished member of Alpha Phi Alpha also served as president of Wilberforce University in Ohio. He was also a high-ranking member in the AME Church in Ohio. He wasn't just an educator, he was also an activist. This brother sit at the forefront of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And when it comes to historians who detail the history of these organizations, they're pretty much talking about this guy. And he also wrote biographies on men like Henry Menton, who had a similar story to Edwin Howard. The focus of this episode, He practiced medicine in South Carolina, eventually migrated to Philadelphia, where he opened one of the first black pharmacies in America. And that much is worth mentioning because he is a member of the Black Skull and Bone Society that wanted the group to resemble what was happening at Yale University. Understood correctly, we should view the founding of Sigma Pi Phi as a group of educated black men with ties to Prince Hall Masonry who splintered off to start a new fraternal order. And this is actually quite common among Freemasons. As you can see, the Mystic Shrine order is at the very top. Chapter the Rosing Cross. All of these can be considered splinter groups within Masonry, but they all make up the same council of the ruling elite. In his scathing critique of all Greek letter organizations, George G.M. James asserts that the praise and honor traditionally given to the Greeks for their contribution to philosophy rightfully belong to the people of Africa, particularly the Egyptians. He aims to rectify what he sees as a grave injustice, the erroneous world opinion that the African continent made no significant contribution to civilization. James boldly claims that Greek philosophy did not originate with the Greeks themselves. Instead, he contends that it was plagiarized from Egyptian sources. According to James, the Greeks lacked the native ability essential for the development of philosophy. He directs credit away from Socrates, Plato, or Aristotle, asserting that their works were essentially borrowed from the Egyptian mystery system. George James argued that Greek philosophers studied in Egypt alongside Egyptian priests. During their time there, they learned the philosophy and sciences of the Egyptian mystery systems. The so-called Greek philosophy is, in fact, stolen the Egyptian philosophy that the Greeks appropriated. George James believes that perpetuating these false worship of Greek philosophers has hindered black people's recognition of their own intellectual legacy and heritage. He calls for a new philosophy of redemption for black folks, urging them to stop citing Greek philosophies and to resign from the institutions that honor ancient Greeks. George James condemned Greek letter fraternities and the Freemasons because they perpetuate the false narrative of Greek intellectual superiority. By participating in these organizations, black people unwittingly perpetuate the theft of their own intellectual legacy. There needs to be a shift in focus toward acknowledging the contributions of Africans to Egyptian civilization. The Greeks were in fact the first Europeans to engage in tomb raiding in Egypt. Tomb robbing and raiding in Egypt was a practice that dates back to the society's early history, involving various levels of society, including royalty and serfs. The Egyptians themselves often robbed tombs to provide for their families or as acts of revenge during times of hardship. The conquest of Egypt by Alexander the Great, Aristotle's former pupil, played a significant role in the Hellenistic world, but there is no direct evidence linking the conquest to the founding of the Lyceum by Aristotle. Aristotle established the Lyceum in Athens as a school for philosophical and scientific research, and while he did amass a substantial library, the specifics of how he acquired his collection are not well documented. It is suggested that during his time in Athens, Aristotle built a library and gathered a group of research students, which became the foundation of the Lyceum. Regarding Aristotle's return to Greece with manuscripts from Egypt, there are claims that he may have had the opportunity to collect books during the invasion of Egypt by Alexander the Great. Henry P. Hall, a renowned esoteric philosopher and author, delves into the mystical connection between Freemasonry and ancient Egyptian wisdom in his book titled Freemasonry of the Ancient Egyptians. This work, included as part of the Lost Keys of Freemasonry compilation, provides insights into the origins and symbolism shared by these ancient traditions. In this book, Hall explores the rites of initiation within Freemasonry and their undeniable ties to ancient Egyptian practices. He emphasizes the profound influence of Egyptian spirituality on the development of Masonic rituals. One notable aspect discussed by Hall is the concept of initiation. He draws parallels between the Egyptian mystery schools and the Masonic lodges, highlighting how both systems use symbolic rituals to convey hidden knowledge and spiritual transformation. The initiatory journey, whether in ancient Egypt or within the Masonic fraternity, involves a profound inner awakening and enlightenment. Hall's work invites readers to explore the deeper layers of symbolism, allegory, and esoteric teachings embedded in Freemasonry. By tracing these teachings back to the Egyptian roots, he sheds light on a timeless wisdom that continues to resonate through the ages. Keith Moore's book Masonic Light from Ancient Africa delves into the critical thinking of Freemasons of African descent regarding the understanding of the Bible and American culture. To Freemasons, the Bible serves as a guide of faith, providing God's holy instructions. It holds both spiritual and esoteric knowledge that traditional churches may not fully tap into. This book not only examines the contributions of ancient Kemet to religion, but also explores the entire religious landscape of Africa. Africa's diverse religions all point to one divine creator. The impact of Christianity on African American culture is explored, emphasizing how it shaped beliefs, practices, and identity. By combining historical, cultural, and spiritual insights, this book sheds light on the interconnectedness of faith, knowledge, and tradition. This thought-provoking work invites readers to explore the rich tapestry of African spirituality, connecting ancient wisdom with contemporary understanding. If you're interested in the intersection of faith, history, and culture, this book provides some valuable insights. Book Freemasonry, Greek Philosophy, the Prince Hall Fraternity, and the Egyptian World Connection, Keith Moore explores the intersection between Freemasonry, African heritage, and cultural history. Moore sheds light on the often overlooked influences of people of African descent on Freemasonry. He describes the contributions from ancient African civilizations such as Egypt, Nubia, and pre-Islamic Arabia to the development of Freemasonry. This book emphasizes the African presence and the origins and evolution of this secret society. Keith Moore examines the universe of African American Masonic organizations from the 18th to the 20th century in America. This includes the origin of Prince Hall Masonry, which played a crucial role in African American history, politics, and social life. Contrary to mere acknowledgement and respectability, African American Freemasonry had broader implications. This book draws parallels between ancient Egyptian civilization and modern-day Freemasonry. Symbolism and esoteric foundations within Freemasonry are explored, revealing its reliance on ancient wisdom, Greek philosophy, and its impact on Western civilization, the rise of Islam and its influence on the African continent, the grandeur and accomplishments of the Moors in Spain. This book also covers the history of the Knights of Europe and the origins of European chivalry. It also covers the role of Arabic poetry in shaping European culture and thought. In summary, Keith Moore's book provides a deep understanding of Freemasonry's origins, its connections to world civilization, and the pivotal role played by African people all throughout history.